14 months since the first major battle of the American Revolution at Bunker Hill. 7 weeks ago, the Founding Fathers signed the Declaration of Independence, announcing the birth of a new nation. But with the Continental Army on the brink of doom, that nation looks like it's going to be short-lived. The war has moved south from Boston to New York, where George Washington and his 19,000 soldiers are being decimated by 32,000 redcoats. The largest invasion force ever unleashed by the Empire. Washington's men are no match for the King's.
The British regarded the Americans as rubes, as farmers, as mechanics, people with no experience or training in war, and for the most part, they were right.
America's Continental Army is an undisciplined force of volunteers. Each soldier's term of enlistment is 1 year. Few will serve for the entire duration of the war, but about 100,000 men will fight under Washington's command before the revolution is over. Another 200,000 bear arms as militiamen, defending local home fronts and sometimes fighting alongside the Continentals. But in the war's earliest years, America's warriors are not a unified force. They're an overmatched, disorderly rabble. In a week of furious fighting on Long Island, nearly 1,000 patriots have been killed or wounded and another 1,000 taken prisoner. Washington and half his army, 9,000 men, are cornered in Brooklyn, with their backs to the East River.
The British are digging a patchwork of trenches toward the American position. They're preparing for an assault.
Washington's only possible escape route is by water, but the British fleet, parked off the south end of Manhattan, prepares to sail upriver and block their only escape route. Washington knows it's only a matter of time before he and his men are either captured or annihilated.
This is a critical moment. If Washington and the main army stay and fight, they'll be destroyed, and they know that. So it's really important that they rejoin with the rest of their forces so that they can go on to fight another day.
If Washington were to lose his army, it would mean the war would be over. That's really the problem that Washington is facing, and it seems to be insurmountable.
What they need is time to safely retreat before the British attack. And miraculously, they get it, in the form of a fierce southerly wind that prevents the British fleet from sailing up the East River.
If the British Navy had been able to make it up the East River, they would have blocked their escape. The winds and luck were against them.
We need to act aggressively. We need to go forward. We need to push them.
Washington immediately seizes on this sudden stroke of good fortune.
Tonight.
His plan is to ferry his 9,000 men, their horses, and all their arms and equipment across the East River to Manhattan. From there, they will head north to escape the Redcoats' advance. The retreat must be done in one night, in silence, so the British are caught completely by surprise.
We must begin immediately.
Well, there you have it, gentlemen.
The Americans and the British are only 600 yards apart at this point. And if the British catch on to what Washington is planning to do, they could catch the Americans and wipe them out.
The odds say they have no chance to pull off an effective retreat across the river without the British catching on. The Redcoats outnumber them almost 3-1.